The Black Sea was never supposed to stay quiet. Back in early 2022, under deceptively calm waters and blue skies, something started that would quietly rewrite the rules of naval warfare. This wasn't the old picture of huge fleets steaming toward each other, guns blazing. No, this was smaller, sharper, and far more dangerous, using weapons and tactics that forced every navy on Earth to take notice. Welcome to Naval Front. This is our first full documentary. On this channel, we dive into Navy versus Navy fights, modern naval thinking, and the real battles that decide who rules the waves. No political rants, no hype, just straight, clear analysis of what actually happened at sea. Why the Black Sea even matters. It's one of those bodies of water that punches way above its size on a map. It links Eastern Europe to Russia, ties into global trade routes, and gives whoever holds it the ability to reach far beyond its coastline. For Russia, the Black Sea Fleet has been a source of pride and power for decades. For Ukraine, keeping access to it is literally about survival. When Russia invaded in February 2022, pretty much everyone expected Ukraine's tiny navy to be wiped out in days. That prediction aged badly. Russia's Black Sea Fleet at the start. On paper, Russia owned the sea. They had guided missile cruisers, modern frigates and corvettes, quiet diesel submarines, and a whole string of amphibious ships ready to put troops ashore. At the heart of it all was the cruiser Moskva, the fleet flagship built to shield everyone else from air attack and run the whole show. It looked like total dominance. Ukraine's side of the story. Reality was harsher for Ukraine. Their navy was small, and most of the bigger ships were either gone or rusting away. No carriers, no battle groups, nothing to match Russia ton for ton. So they didn't try. Instead of chasing sea control, Ukraine went for sea denial, make the water too risky for Russian ships to operate freely. A different way to fight at sea. Ukraine leaned on three things that didn't require a big fleet: coastal anti-ship missiles, good intelligence, and the element of surprise. They turned the entire coastline into one long ambush zone. Missile units stayed hidden, moved often, picked their targets carefully, and struck when the Russians least expected it. The sinking of Moskva, April 14, 2022. That date still sends ripples through naval circles. Ukrainian Neptune missiles found the Moskva. 2 hits. Fires spread fast. Secondary explosions ripped through the ship. Damage control teams couldn't keep up. By the next day, the pride of the Black Sea Fleet was on the bottom. It was the biggest warship lost in combat since World War II. And it wasn't just steel and missiles that went down. It was the idea that big surface ships were untouchable. Why losing Moskva hurt so much? Moskva wasn't just another hull. She was the fleet's command node and its main air defense umbrella. Once she was gone, Russian ships had to stay farther offshore. Planned amphibious landings near Odessa got shelved for good. The whole Russian naval posture shifted overnight from offense to caution. The arrival of sea drones. Then, Ukraine rolled out something even cheaper and nastier: unmanned surface drones. Little boats packed with explosives, guided from shore or by satellite. They hit patrol craft, slipped into harbors, damaged logistics ships. Each one cost a fraction of what even a single anti-ship missile runs, yet they could cripple vessels worth hundreds of millions. Suddenly, the math of naval power looked very different. Technology beating tonnage. For generations, we measured navies by displacement, gun caliber, number of hulls. The Black Sea showed that smart tech, timely intelligence, and the willingness to improvise can neutralize a much bigger fleet. Big ships suddenly felt very vulnerable. Lessons the world is learning. Admirals from the US to China are poring over the footage and reports. The takeaways are uncomfortable. Even thick air defense layers can be saturated. Ports aren't safe sanctuaries anymore, and asymmetric tactics absolutely work at sea. Doctrine is already shifting. Who's actually ahead in this naval fight? Russia still has more ships and still can operate. Ukraine still doesn't have a proper blue water navy, But the goalposts moved. Ukraine has denied Russia the free use of the sea they expected. Russia now sails defensively, always looking over its shoulder. In modern naval terms, that's a win. This fight wasn't decided by who brought the most steel to the water. It was decided who adapted faster, thought clearer, and struck smarter. That's the story of the naval war in the Black Sea. And that's Naval Front. Thanks for watching our first one. If you want more like this, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next.